So one of the big things they come to Malaysia for is the food. It's diverse, it's delicious, and it's not very expensive.
The other day we were getting a cab ride home and the cabbie told us about Jalan Aloor Food Street, which is really close to our apartment, and so we took the kids there the other day.
We went to Jalan Aloor. Just a couple of tips for while you're there. It's not very long, so it's only about 500 or 600 meters long. I would say your best course of action is to just walk all the way down. Don't commit to buying anything. Just walk all the way down and all the way back and check out the different places. There's a lot of places that are kind of repeats. Like, for example, durian stands, there must be like 6 or 7, so they have slightly different prices. You can check those all out. Juice places, same thing. There's 5 or 6 juice places that have different styles of juice and different prices, so you can check all those out. And then make a decision based on which one looks the best or cheapest or however you feel. But also one thing to look out for is, do these places have somewhere to sit down? Jalan Aloor Street has a very narrow path, probably 5 or 6 feet wide. So if you're going to be stopping to get some of that food and they don't have somewhere for you to sit, you're kind of like just standing on the side while just, there's a constant stream of people going past you. So one thing you could ask before you order is, do you have somewhere to sit? The places that do, it's easy. You just walk in off the side and you can have a seat and enjoy your drink or your snack. The other places, it is a bit inconvenient, and they won't tell you until after you bought the food, I've noticed.
Yeah, a few of them did have spots for us to sit, and like it was just the two of us. I think it will be fine. Like, it's kind of inconvenient, but it will be totally fine. It's when you're traveling with kids, you're going to want to sit down somewhere so that they can try the food. If you need to chop it up a little bit or help them eat it, especially because our kids are really small and, they kind of make a mess when they're eating. They can't really eat on the go as well, so it's nice to be able to sit down. And that was one of the things we experienced in Japan and Korea as well, is the food streets were kind of difficult to eat a lot at because we didn't have anywhere to sit down.
Yeah. So once we got scoped out the whole street, we first stop was to get some juice for the kids because they were thirsty and it was hot. So we stopped in. For 6 ringgit, you can get a pretty decent sized fresh fruit juice that they'll blend up right in front of you. They have the cups of fruit there. They just pop it off, throw it in the blender, mix in a bit of water, and Bob's your uncle. The juices were good. Kids loved them, so
and it was delicious. It just was exactly what you were expecting. Was they would take they have it already in a cup. They have the watermelon. It's blended. Then you get a cup of blended watermelon, blended mango. Same thing. They're not adding anything to it, so that was really good.
Yeah,
it's a nice way to start off.
Yeah,
nice and
great.
Cold. Shed its mice.
Yeah. I was on the hunt for durian when I got there, so as soon as we got the juice for the kids, then I was determined I was going to get the durian.
I will back up. He was talking about the durian before he left the apartment. He was talking about it in the cab, and he was talking about it at the top of the street. So yes, he went and got the juice first, but the durian talk started well before that. He was very excited.
There's a fruit place downstairs where I asked them if they sell durian, but they didn't. So I've been having my eye out for it. So it was nice to finally go to a market where they had loads of it. Like I said before, there's probably 5 or 6 different places selling durian. The prices were similar, but they were a little bit different in some places. I think ours that we ended up getting was 30 ringgit for 2 pieces, which is pretty expensive. That's $10 Canadian or maybe $7, $7 US for 2 wedges of durian, just 2 little segments. And the guys had a place for me to sit. It was kind of in the back, out of the way, and we went in there and they had plastic gloves for you to hold because durian apparently is a bit smelly. And I had the most confusing culinary experience of my life. It was very strange. The texture, the taste, it was unlike anything I've ever had before.
I don't know how to describe that. You want to try it? Are you sure? Oh, it's very creamy.
Yeah.
Want to try some, baby?
Just trying to. Take a bite of it, buddy.
Like, is this how it's supposed to taste? It's like green underneath. Is that okay?
Yeah, like avocado.
Very strange.
It's really good though. It's like an avocado mango.
Yeah.
It's really tasty. This is the Musang King or Mustang cake that I've heard it called. It's supposed to be one of the better ones. It was more expensive than the other ones. I've heard that durian is like really stinky and it's just an acquired taste, but that was really nice. I feel like if I did eat it more, I would like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a very different flavor, but it is really tasty.
I'm definitely glad I tried it. I will try it again, and I'd like to try it. However, it's traditionally prepared in other meals, so I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that in the future. One thing I'll say is that I don't know if it was really musang. If you read about durian, which I did a very little amount of, it seemed like musang was one of the better varieties. And it just so happens that every single street vendor on this street only has musang, which Musang King or whatever, yeah,
Try the durian.
which is very suspicious to me.
He's suspicious. For me, I've heard that there's lots of different varieties of durian, and some of them are really smelly. Like there was stores, even at the restaurant we sat down at later on, there was a sign like no durian coming inside because it smells really bad. And I think that's why a lot of the shops don't keep it. And this didn't smell bad, and it tasted like unoffensive. They say that you need to, it's kind of an acquired taste. It was good.
It's still definitely an acquired taste.
It was just because it's just not something that I'm used to.
Did you bite that and say, that's good?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, it was like, it was something. It was different. I would try it again. Like the next time I see durian ice cream, I will buy it. Because I would like to try it. Because before I was like, I'm not trying that. But I suspect we have to investigate further the durian situation. And there is there's a durian shop somewhere in Kuala Lumpur that Dominic wants to go to. I think it was Musang King. He's very suspicious.
It would be like if every single restaurant had just like Wagyu beef.
Well, what if there was Wagyu beef there, supposedly? but
Yeah, but
maybe it's just in season. What? But also if you were selling Musang King, why would anybody go to get something else? I don't know.
because it would be cheaper.
If there's Malaysians watching this, can you please go in the comments and just kind of tell us about the Musang King?
Is it really all
Jalan Aloor
Musang?
Street?
Is it really all Musang King?
Who's
I'm
correct here?
suspicious.
Please, Team Jenny or Team Dominic about the durian.
Yeah. So then we moved down the street a little bit and we saw something else that Jenny's been excited to try, which is
Mango sticky rice. I know this is really popular in Thailand. Kuala Lumpur is pretty far north in Malaysia and it's kind of close to Thailand, so I was like, I'll try it here. And this one, I really liked it. It's like sticky rice balls and bits of mango, and then there was like a coconut, like a sweet coconut cream sauce that you dump over it and try it. Kids were
You want some of the rice, baby? Some sticky rice, see what it tastes like. You be the guinea pig.
This is something Mommy's always wanted to try.
What do you think?
She didn't want to like it, but she did. Here you go, handsome.
Just tastes like white rice.
Yeah, is that coconut milk on it?
Do you put this on it, maybe?
Oh yeah, I bet. Pour that all over it.
Put it all over everything?
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be good now.
Dad, is it gonna be so good?
Now it's gonna be so sweet. Now. Oh, the white stuff is like coconut sugar.
Can you please help me?
I sure can.
Kids weren't really into it, and I liked it. I think that if we go to Thailand, and hopefully we will in the near future, that I'll try it a little bit differently, and because I haven't seen it prepared exactly like this. By this time we got down to the end of the street, and Martin had spotted there was kind of a fancy juice stand. It had like these fancy cups and stuff too, and they had them pre-prepared, and so he spotted that, and so he went over and he ordered it all himself. He was very proud, and I have no idea what was inside of it. But it was really tasty, and the kids really liked it.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Ah, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
You can take it back, it's all done. Oh, yum.
Okay,
Thank you.
it was like the dragon fruit, the purple colored dragon fruit and mango, I think is one that he got. They had all kinds of nice fruit cups lined up there. That seemed like one of the nicer juice vendors there. He was right at the end of the street.
Also
And
had a table, several tables.
he had lots of seating and stuff, and he seemed like, his cups were nicer and everything, so.
Dominic, we were drinking the juice. Dominic went out to get dumplings. and he brought those back. We tried them.
So I went up to the dumpling stand. I think it's like Chinese style
Pretty hot, buddy, but you can try
from the writing that was on the menu there. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But the dumplings were good. They were chunky, tetrahedron shaped dumplings that they fried up on the grill for a while. There was all young guys working there, and they were busy. They were really busy lineup and really busy cooking. And they had other things there that we didn't get, like scallion pancakes and things. And they had lots of noodles that the guy actually would chip off the dough block, kind of like right into the pot of boiling water. So if we weren't at the stage of ready to eat noodles at that point. So we only got the dumplings, but they were very delicious. They came in a nice little chili sauce. And definitely would recommend those. We'd seen the dim sum place on the way down, so at this point we're at the bottom of the street, so we hiked back up to the dim sum place.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So at the dim sum place, you get a little skewer and a bowl, and you take up however many you like. I don't know what the flavors were. I asked the guy what kinds there were, and he just said pork. But there was like 15 different color ones you could get, so they did taste different. So they were definitely different flavors. Don't know what they were, so I just picked out different colors, and we tried kind of one of almost every kind. Some were spicy, some tasted more eggy, but they were all pretty good. And they came with a fairly spicy chili sauce. It was a little too intense for the kids to eat, but it was pretty delicious. And after we bought it, he said the first thing out of his mouth after I gave him the money was nowhere to sit. So that's why we say check first if you need a place to sit down. If you can't stand up in the street with many people going by you, especially if you have kids, you might want to sit down somewhere. Ask first, because obviously he's come across this before, that as soon as he got the money, he said, nowhere to sit. So it's like, okay, thanks.
It was what it was.
But just check first, just as a tip.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I'd get my money too. But
Yeah.
just check. If you need a place to sit down, just check first.
Then after that, we took the kids to get fruit cups. We had juice a couple times, so then we took them down to another stand that was selling these mixed cups of fruit. And Jeannie got watermelon, and Martin got a just some sort of mixed fruit. And the lady had these like spices at her stand that I've seen people use before, and she had just handed them to the kids, and she wasn't even offering the spices, which is important for later.
So it was my fault. I said, "What are those?" And she was like, "Oh, it's sweet."
Did we normally put that in? What's that stuff? What is it?
Sugar?
You want some of that? You want some of that stuff in it?
What is it? Sweet.
Yeah, it's
Oh, Jeannie does.
like sugar. Want some sugar on it? A
Yeah.
little bit?
So I thought, the kids will like that. So it looked like a brownish powder. I thought it might be cane sugar or something. But what happened was, once it got on the fruit, it tasted really salty. And it got to the point where the kids didn't like it then. So if your kids just like fruit straight up, then I would recommend just giving them the fruit. Don't add on that other stuff, because I agree. When I tasted it after too, and it really didn't make it a pleasant taste to
Yeah,
me.
it was okay. Like, it was salty. I think that I would understand why people would like it. I kind of liked it, but I think I would just prefer it as it
Yeah.
was. It was a different flavor.
Finally, we were getting late in the night. It was super busy. We had been scoping out the restaurants on the way up and down the street. There's lots of street vendors, but then behind a lot of those, there are big restaurants with like loads of outdoor seating and some indoor seating. And so we went to one that was very busy, and that there wasn't a guy there trying to coax us in. I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning, but all of these restaurants have a miniature army of people who are flipping through the menu as you walk by, trying to get you to come in. I generally don't like going into restaurants to do that. And so this one didn't actually have one when we strolled by. So we looked at the menu in peace, and we said, we looked at the pictures, they look good. And so we decided to go into that one. It was a good choice.
Alright, we've been walking around the street and we got a few different things to eat. They're really good. And now we've stopped in at a restaurant. We're going to get some drinks and a couple more things to eat. But it's getting pretty warm. Kids are getting pretty warm. But all in all, it's pretty nice.
It was the food was excellent. We had lemon chicken, which was really good.
You could taste that it was like made with real lemons, and it was like sweet and citrusy, and the chicken, like the batter, I don't know how they do it, but the batter is like so thick, and the chicken is so juicy. It was really, really good. I loved it.
But even better than that was the beef noodles we had directly after. They were, well, I think they were, the lemon chicken was awesome, but the beef noodles were like perfect. They were saucy, there were loads of bean sprouts in there, there was lots of beef. I believe there was chicken in there too. There's definitely egg
There's
in there.
Yeah.
It was really delicious, and the portion was enormous. We could not come close to finishing. We ate almost all the lemon chicken, but we didn't come close to finishing the beef.
The lemon chicken was superb. It had this really thick crust and skin on it, and the lemon sauce was just. We get lemon chicken at home, but you can tell that it's very syrupy sauce. It was sweet, but very like natural lemon flavored. It was really tasty.
We're just like, I was so happy, and we were sitting in this restaurant. It was so busy, and like Buddy was coming up with the. He had all of his little like tickets, and he was like using our table to like write on them, and everything was busy. We were right by the kitchen. Like
it was chaos.
I loved it. It was so fun.
Yeah.
We ordered watermelon drinks for the kids, and like she ran across the street and was like yelling at that lady to make her like the juices. I was like, oh, this is great. I love this.
Yeah, it was a great experience. It was totally different than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
It was utter chaos of people just in, out, chairs moving. You know, buckets of ice getting walked by, crabs, and everything was going on. It was cool. But the food was great. The service was really good and fast.
Excellent. And there was lots of families there.
So now we've done it. What would we do differently, or what would we warn people about if we were to go again?
I was just gonna say, just checking if there's a spot to sit, or like planning to like, okay, well, we're gonna buy this, and then we're gonna go down somewhere else and buy that so that we can sit there at that table and eat all of it together. So just kind of plan out for where the tables are, because we have the kids.
Yeah, when you walk by the restaurants, people are going to come out and flip their menus and try to get you to come in. They're a little aggressive, but not in like a mean way. They're very friendly and nice, but if you're nice to them and polite and say, no thank you, no I just ate, or anything like that, it seems like that's the opening, and then they'll just keep following you and flipping, and you know, it'll keep going. It might not sound nice, but I just looked at whatever all the local people were doing, and they just do a 1,000-yard stare and just keep walking. That's really what you need to do. Otherwise, they're going to follow you halfway down the road.
There are people selling toys. So decide before you go down if you're going to buy a toy from these people who are selling them. They don't have prices. I have no idea how much they cost. And like, I think we interacted with them very shortly, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
There was not that many, and that's, you know, we were there for a few hours, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was nice when the kids knew what to do when he was coming by.
But their tactic isn't to come over and say, you know, I got these toys for 5 ringgit each, would you like to buy one? It's, they'll take out the one, like they took out a little bunny and tried to give it to Jeannie.
Yeah.
They didn't interact with us at all. They tried to give it directly to her. So just be firm and say, nope, not interested, thank you. You do have to be a little bit firm, though. Being super polite and nice doesn't work that well, so you do have to be a little bit firm. When you get there, don't go to the first stand you see. It seems like maybe you can get a better price if you go a little deeper in. I think so anyway. So when I was looking at the durian on the way in, I was checking out the prices of each stand on the way in, and I got the one that seemed to be like 3 or 4 ringgit cheaper than the other ones for similar size. So not that it's a big savings, but everything is the same way with juice and all that. So it's a little more expensive. It seems like on the ends of the street, and it gets a little cheaper as you get in further. So yeah, just it's not a long street. When you get there, walk down the length of it, look around, have a good checkout, see what you want to have, and then walk back up and get the stuff you want on the way back up.
It doesn't open until the evening. So I think they start opening up the stands at around 4:30 p.m. We arrived, I think right between like 5 and 5:30 p.m. At this time, it was already starting to get busy, but it wasn't super busy. Like peak, when we were like going into the restaurant, it was full. There was a lot of people. I didn't feel like uncomfortable. I'm not saying that it was like too crowded at all, but I'm saying like there was crowds.
Yeah, it's a great vibe. Like,
yeah.
If you want to go in and have an exciting atmosphere where you're eating and stuff, and like, if I was younger and didn't have kids with me, I would love it in there, I'm sure.
I still loved it.
Yeah, there's loads of people sitting around having a few drinks and having a great supper, and you know, if you want to get there a little early to have a little bit more freedom and shorter lines, you know, right before sundown, everything's open. I think they open a little late, say 4:30 or 5. If you get there around 5, you're not going to have big lineups. You're not going to have jam-packed crowds. You're going to get into a restaurant really easy. But if you want that exciting atmosphere, leave it a little later, and it's full and it's a party. The restaurant we were at does take card. I paid in cash just because it seemed like that's what everyone was doing. So you're going to want to bring cash. as especially the smaller vendors won't have card readers. So bring some cash with you. Our total for the night might have been like a couple hundred ringgit.
And we'll put it down right here. This
So-
is our total for the night.
Yeah.
And we stopped at like 8 different places, including a
Yeah,
restaurant.
we left full. So
Yeah. Yeah, things kind of range from like 5 ringgit seemed like the cheapest up to like 20 ringgits for like the dishes at the restaurant.
in the restaurants, like you're in the
Mm-hmm.
20s for ringgit, which is probably $7 or $8 Canadian,
Mm-hmm.
which is like $5 American per dish. So you don't need to bring the bank with you, but you will need cash.
Yeah.
Bring an umbrella. If it starts to rain, it starts to rain. But I guess that's just general tip for Malaysia. However, there are dudes who bring out these giant umbrellas. Like they knew it was going to rain like 5 minutes before it started somehow.
They were up and they were like putting like people were sitting at the tables kind of already eating and these
Yep.
guys and there's a lady too. They were like putting up these umbrellas and just coming out and getting them up and putting them like it was pretty quick. So as we were walking down the links, we were leaving at this point. There was people everywhere with these gigantic umbrellas. I don't know where they came from, but they had them and they were putting them up and the party was going to continue
Yeah.
regardless of the rain.
So I guess the tip is bring an umbrella, but if it's going to rain, don't let that stop you from going because they have an efficient system of just plowing out into the middle of that very busy path and opening up these 12-foot umbrellas, and they just lay them right in. They have them perfectly
They
spaced
have-
out to cover all the tables.
Because they have the holders
Yep.
already there.
Yep.
So they just pop them right in. It was awesome.
Yeah, so rainy night, no problem.
And it rained a lot.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot of rain. But overall, highly recommend. I think that was one of my highlights so far of being in Malaysia was
Yeah.
going to Jalan Aloor. It was, you kind of have this vision of like, oh, I'm going to go to Asia. I'm going to try different foods. Like, I feel like that was the one.
That was
the
great,
vision I
yeah.
had. It was like such a good time. It wasn't super big. It felt safe. Everything was busy and bustling. We tried lots of new foods. The kids tried lots of new foods. It was great.
Yeah, there's people from all over there. There's a lot of locals. There's also a lot of tourists. It just seems like a solid place to go if you want to spend an evening eating, trying different things.
Okay, so I hope you get a chance to try it. See you in the next one.